Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's Alt StarCraft Novice Arena. And tonight we're starting off with a TVP, which will be Cheeks versus JediMCJ. Of course, we'll just call him Jedi, because we like short forms. And we're just waiting for the load on screen for MLG's Tal'Darim Altar. Wonderful, wonderful little map. And tonight with me we have Knack. How you doing, Knack?
Doing real well. Thanks for having me.
Well, of course, you're doing the wonderful streaming for us, because unfortunately my streaming is not working completely correct tonight. So, TVP, what do you think is going to be the standard sort of thing coming out of each player right now? Do you predict 4 dates, 1-on-1s? What do you think is going to happen tonight?
Well, since it is the novice tournament, I sort of expect to see more 4-gate style of play, kind of one-base sort of play out of our Protoss player, and potentially the same type of thing out of our Terran player. But at lower leagues these days, people are starting to pick up on the high-level metagame a little bit faster, and so there's a good possibility we see early expansions because, that's what people are doing these days. I'll tell you, expanding quickly before the 5-minute mark pays off in many regards so far in the current metagame, but we'll see how that's going to go.
Well, it should be interesting to see, and we're going to see a little bit of a standard wall-up coming out of Cheeks. Most Terran do this nowadays. The choke point for this map is slightly wider than that of your average ramp, so we'll take at least one extra supply depot to wall it off, but other than that, looks like it's going to be just making probes, making pylons, and it looks like our Protoss player is attempting a slight wall off here. What do you make of that?
I'd say probably just a force of habit, and I probably would call it a bad habit. You don't generally want to wall off a Terran player here, but Jedi feels like he's got to wall that off here at this point. He is getting his gas here just a little bit later than I would like to have seen, but we'll see if he's going to remedy that here pretty quick. Other than that, I'd say that his build's pretty standard, except for that building placement. I'd like to see those back just a little bit. But Jedi, on the other hand, or Cheeks rather, on the other hand, is he's walling his off, and he could actually wall this off. If you put these guys between the choke, you can wall it off with just a supply depot and the barracks, and wall it off tightly. It's actually, if you're going to wall off, just use the 2 buildings. Right now, he's used both buildings and still has a gaping hole in his in his wall there. But we'll see if he's going to wall that off. He's got his SCV still kicking it here. And we can see that, Jedi's got his cyber cord going down. So I'm guessing pretty standard openers thus far. Nothing looks like fast expanding quite yet. Both these guys are taking those gas, so we'll see how it's going to play out. But so far, so good, especially in a best-of-1 tournament-style match.
Yeah, well, Jedi's gotten a sneaky scout in on the base and has spotted... we got a bit of lag coming out of Jedi, actually. But as I was saying, Jedi has actually gotten a sneaky scout off and has spotted that gas out of Cheeks. So, there we go.
Nice.
We're live. We live. And unfortunately, that probe's going to die to that Marine, but that happens.
Marine picking up a kill. Yeah, you can't win every battle against the Marine, huh?
As My usual co-caster Aegis is a Terran player, and he flies the flag, shall we say. He's quite proud of it. So, anyways, we have a second gas coming out of Cheeks, and a factory coming down. Do you think this could turn into something more like a 1-1-1 or?
I think so. I think it's a great summation. You see even at low level play, 1-1-1's becoming, pretty standard type of build. You can catch your opponent off guard, especially at low levels. It's relatively easy to make that build effective. It requires very little micro, so I think more and more popular. Now, he was late on his second gas. He got that down around the 4-minute mark. And you can see him pumping out Hellions here, which is fine, but he's not putting down his starport at this point. So if he is going for a 1-1-1, he's very late on it. Other than that, I just don't know what his build is. If he's not going to go for a 1-1-1, to be honest, I guess Hellion Marine, but if that's the case, he's going to need a couple more barracks, maybe even a reactor on that factory or something like that. But we'll see. So far this is kind of a wonky build. And I think Jedi is going to be in just fine shape considering he does have his robotics out, if he can keep himself from staying supply blocked here for too long.
Well, yeah, he is supply blocked, and that's a bit of a it's a bit of a concern considering there's a nice little army starting to gather at that tower, but you should be okay here as long as his warp gate, well, his warp gate's almost complete. He now has 3 gateways, and Jedi's in a very, very good position right now. We do have a tech lab down on barracks, and still no word on any sort of starport or any sort of add-on on the factory. So this is I'm not so sure about this build at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he's going a little bit ahead of himself here, getting the upgrades on weapons level 1 for his infantry. I mean, I don't disagree with getting upgrades. However, I mean, this is a little bit early for that. I mean, you really need to be taking an expansion before you start working on upgrades. All you really need for your first, I don't know, call it 10, 12 minutes of the game is just stim and combat shield. And if you're going for those, if you're going for marauders, then obviously you grab out concussive shells as well. But he's late on the tech lab, which is costing him, the time that he needs to get those upgrades out. So getting this +1 from the engineering bay, I'm not necessarily thrilled with that at this point.
Well, yeah. So Cheeks' build seems a little bit off, but we have Jedi now in a fairly stable 3-gate into 4-gate robo with an expansion coming out, and that'll help boost his economy very nicely.
And here comes an engagement in the center.
Yeah.
It looks like these stalkers are going to have to back out here. That's a lot of Hellions and just enough Marines there to do the damage necessary. And so he is indeed backing out here, but now he's got that Immortal up, and this is going to be a pretty beefy little army for Jedi.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually slightly concerned for Cheeks' well-being here, as well. Let's just say Jedi is slowly coming ahead in the macro aspect, but he is supply blocked again, holding up an Immortal, and he's only dropping 1 pylon at a time. Or did he just drop another one? I just heard it. There it is. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that you've really got to stay on top of, and it definitely helps you get to, I'd say, mid-level play, is being on top of your pylon production, making sure that your supply cap is always above where you are in food, and that you're gearing up for when you start pulling out your tech units. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that Immortals cost, what is it, 4 food? Yeah, it's 4 food. So I mean, that's a lot. That's almost half of a pylon there. So you mean you can't produce 2 very long if you're putting down just 1 pylon here and there. You've really got to stay on top of it when you're on robotics tech here. I mean, I like this. I love this. The army count here for Jedi, or at least the army composition. A lot of stalkers here is going to be really effective against these Hellions. The Immortals are going to be effective at just about everything, especially against the tank that's in here. And I like this engagement here for Jedi.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to pull right through this one, because he just took out the tank, and this Hellion is going to go and gone. Okay, so Jedi is doing very well right now. I'd like to point out, though, that his main is slightly oversaturated, and he never transferred probes to his natural.
Right.
Which is something that you should get in the habit of doing.
Yeah, that's so true. You really want to keep the pressure off of your main as long as you possibly can. So transferring those out is always a smart move. He's just now getting some saturation at that natural, but moving in here, and he completely demolishes that expansion of Cheeks there, and I like that part for him. Jedi's in phenomenal shape here. You said it best, NJX. Jedi, basically all he has to do is pull the trigger on this. I feel like Cheeks can't hold here. And moving forward is, I think, the right move. Go ahead and fill us in.
Well, yep, he's going to go ahead and take down this wall, and I honestly don't think there is enough units here for Cheeks to really defend. He takes out that tank with ease, and now these Immortals and Stalkers are just going to walk in and start taking down everything. Although I'd be careful about losing that Immortal.
Yeah.
All of his SCVs off the line to try and defend here. That could actually be a bit of a saving grace. If this Immortal goes down, that's a problem.
Yeah, he really needs to try and hold on to those tech units. He should have been kiting a little bit sooner. I like that he is giving that a solid try here. He's cost his opponent a lot of mining time, so that's really good. I would like to see him get some more units out here. He's got plenty of minerals, plenty of warp-in availability, and he ought to continue pushing this here. I don't feel like he should be backing out and trying to macro up at this point. This is a time when you just need to take these guys out. So it looks pretty good.
He has plenty of Stalkers right now to
yeah, here comes your Banshees into the backside of the main. Double Banshee's going to try and do a little bit of damage. Jedi actually has Stalkers in position to deal with this, but he's not doing it. That's a mistake. He really needs to be able to multitask. And you can see him moving in here, and SCV's being pulled once more. I tell you, Cheeks is in a lot of trouble here.
He is, because really right now the only defense he has is his SCVs.
Right.
It's just not looking good for Cheeks at this point in time. I would like to see Jedi just go in and just do as much damage as he possibly can before any more units start popping out. And taking down that tech lab is a good idea, definitely, because it will stall any sort of... Oh, and there's a GG. Congratulations to Jedi on a wonderful, wonderful game. Thank you for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next match.